made a video on Ugas calling out Terrence Crawford for unification, right? Because he had the regular title. And the only reason why I said the unification, because you guys got to remember, if Crawford does fight Ugas, then Ugas' title is going to be on the line. So a lot of people don't consider the regular WBA title as a legit title. But if Crawford is going to fight Ugas, I'm pretty sure he's going to want that title to be on the line. What sense does it make for Crawford to fight Ugas, but let him keep his title if he loses, even if it's just a regular title, not the actual legit championship title, which is the super title under the WBA, right? Anyways, Errol Spence came out today. Errol Spence stated, and I quote, "I don't know what's what. So Manny is the super champion and Ugas is the regular champion, question mark. Do every section in body have a regular and a super champion?" And then he also added, "Are the fees the same percentage?" Laughing emoji. So can someone get all the secondary belts and be undisputed or not? So Errol Spence is just confused over what's going on in the sport of boxing. For the people that's not informed, I hope I don't confuse a lot of people. But in the sport of boxing, unlike UFC or any other sport, such as Muay Thai or you name it, in the sport of boxing, it used to be one face, one name in every division, back when Muhammad Ali was fighting. So your mandatory was pretty much another champion nowadays, if you want to call it that. So as the sport developed, promoters wanted to find new ways to promote fighters. They wanted to promote them as champions, so they created more titles. And because of the new titles that got created, that confused the fans. Now every division have multiple champions. Now you don't know who the champion is. And then boxing went from regular television like ESPN and Fox Sport to subscription television like HBO and Showtime, which limited the amount of people that could view the fight. So as time went on, after the Muhammad Ali days, other sports got really popular. You know, soccer was always popular in basketball, but not to the extent that they are today. You know what I mean? So football as well. So there's more sports on TV, on free TV, matter of fact. Meanwhile, boxing was on HBO for a long time till Floyd Mayweather and Al Heyman left HBO and destroyed the biggest boxing entity, creating PBC in the process. So boxing lost a lot of its popularity with time due to all of the things that I just mentioned. So in every division, there's multiple organizations, multiple sectioning bodies, such as the WBC, the WBO, the WBA, the IBF, and some want to consider the IBO. A lot of people don't. But just to bring it up to inform the fans. Now, that's 4 to 5 different titles, 4 legit titles that a lot of fans consider as the real titles. Now, a lot of these titles have different names to many different titles, such as the WBC. They have a title called the French fries title, the franchise title, which is you got to have the complexion for the connection. If you have the complexion for the protection, you can win this title. It's a witness protection belt. It's not a championship belt nor a strap, according to the WBC president himself, Suleiman. There's also the regular title, which is the regular WBC title. There's also a diamond title, and there's an interim title. This is 4 different titles under one organization. And just to make matter worse, the WBC announced that they could have multiple French fries champions in every division. They could have up to 3 French fries champions per division. So, for example, in the lightweight division, Lomachenko, they gave him a French fries title to avoid his mandatory Devin Haney when he won a vacant strap. So, in other words, he's obligated to fight 2 mandatories since he fought for a vacant strap. Ironically, he a whole champion and he fighting for vacant straps. But Obviously, he got the complexion for the connection. Anyways, so they told Devin Haney, if you fight Lomachenko, you can't win the French fries title. However, recently news came out that Lopez, if he beats Lomachenko, then he gets rewarded the franchise title as well. So both Lomachenko and Lopez going to be French fries champions at the same damn time. Don't ask me, ask the WBC, the We Be Cheating organization, the World Boxing Organization. So again, if Lopez beats Lomachenko, he get a franchise title. Lomachenko doesn't lose his title because the WBC French fries title, you can't win it nor lose it, according to the rules. Now, if Devin Haney beats Lopez, for example, if they fight after that, does that mean Devin Haney wins the franchise title as well? So we're going to have 3 simultaneously champions per division when it comes to this French fries title. So that's what? 7 WBC titles per division. Moving on, the WBA, which Errol Spence was very confused about because currently the regular champion currently is Ugas. He just won his strap in a split decision win last night where he nearly got robbed. So Ugas is the regular champion because the regular champion supposedly got tested positive for steroids. So Ugas fought for his vacant strap against Ramos. Meanwhile, Manny Pacquiao was the regular champion prior of fighting Keith Thurman, who was the super champion. So Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, so he got elevated to the super title. He took Keith Thurman's title from him. Now Manny Pacquiao is the WBA super champion. So the super champion, I know a lot of people are concerned where the heck this title came from. How did it get made? So back in the day when Prince Naseem Hamid was still fighting, back in his time, you have to defend your title up to 10 times in order to win a super title. Now, if you may wonder, what the heck is a super title? Back then, a super title is a title that you don't have to defend your title against mandatories. So if you defend your titles 10 times against either champions or your mandatories, then after 10 title defenses, you get the super title because now you are a proven champion over a period of time and you're not obligated to fight your mandatories. However, they changed that rule over time. After Prince Naseem Hamed retired and many more fighters, now they're giving out titles. Just like the WBC, the super title now is basically a title they're giving out. You don't have to defend your title 10 times in order to win a super title. Now the WBA have a super title, which a lot of people consider the real title. Most consider the real title. And then the regular title now is not really considered the real title, which is, I don't know what's the purpose of the regular one and the super, but I guess now what they're trying to do to justify it is if you're the regular champion, you could eventually fight the super champion. They could mandate you to fight the super champion, which is another word of interim title. However, they still have the interim title for the regular title. You know what I mean? And then, like I said, the IBF is pretty much the one that's not a whole bunch of confusion is going on. The IBF, from what I'm informed on, they only got the regular IBF title and also a mandatory or an interim title, which I love that by the IBF because the IBF also have the rehydration clause. Everybody want to call Errol Spence a weight bully, but every time he fights, he can't rehydrate more than 10 pounds the next day. So how is he a weight bully? You know what I mean? But obviously haters going to hate, especially on the truth. So IBF is the one I respect the most because of that. And they also really mandate whoever is the mandatory. They really force that, unlike the WBC. Charlo was like the mandatory for 2 years. And he still didn't fight Canelo. They gave Canelo a French fries title that he requested. So Canelo pretty much owned the WBC. Just like Lomachenko, he requested a French fries title to avoid Devin Haney. It's pretty much made for these fighters on the hope list to abduct these fighters on the coincidental list. That's why I respect the IBF title the most. And then you also have the WBO title, which a lot of criticism have been made of the fact that Bob Arum have the WBO titles in his pocket. For example, when he signed Lomachenko got a title in 2 fights because Bob Arum guaranteed him on the contract, oh yeah, I'm gonna get you a title in the second fight. And he gave it to him right away because he had the WBO in his pocket. And Lomachenko lost the fight to Salido, where he got taken to the Mexican University. The WBO has a rule. If you're coming off a loss, then you cannot fight for the WBO strap. And Lomachenko was coming off a loss to Salido. However, he still fought Gary Russell for the vacant WBO strap. Now, what sense does that make? But they break the rules whenever they want to. So, obviously, Errol Spence was very confused on that. And I don't blame him because a lot of people are confused on what the heck is going on in the sport of boxing. Deontay Wilder trying to clean the sport to one face and one name in every division. Hopefully, that's the case. I believe the PBC have a plan of establishing a premier boxing champion, the PBC belt, which is a tremendous idea, a great idea if they could execute it, because you guys got to remember, they have nearly 80% of the fighters. So if Errol Spence could unify against the Crawford, let's say if he is successful and he has all the 4 straps, they could give him this PBC title on top, and it's like the undisputed title, where Errol Spence after that could throw away all the titles and just have the PBC title. And moving on in the future, if you want to fight for that PBC title, you have to fight under PBC, and they could establish a franchise kind of like the UFC in the MMA. In the MMA, if you want to fight in the UFC, you have to go see Dana White. So if fighters want to fight fighters on PBC, they have to go see Al Heyman and fight under PBC for that PBC strap, which they're trying to establish as the undisputed strap in the future, either for Deontay Wilder, if he could avenge himself after Tyson Fury clearly cheated in front of everybody. People lie, women lie, your eyes don't lie. So I know you guys saw his tamper glove just like I did. So with that being stated, either one of them guys, if they could execute and become undisputed, then the PBC belt could be given, and timing is everything. So if they give a fighter the PBC strap once he becomes undisputed, then that's going to be the idea of the PBC strap, is the fact that, hey, this is the undisputed champion. And they could pretty much give away with all the titles, and all these corrupt organizations, when they just corrupt in the sport, not benefiting the fighters, because the fighters got to pay for these titles. And we still can't see the best versus the best. Meanwhile, if PBC have the belt, then that's the actual network. The network benefits, the fighter benefits, and it all makes sense. And we could see the best versus the best. So hopefully that's the case. So I know that was a lot to throw at y'all, but I really wanted to explain to Errol Spence what the heck is going on in the sport of boxing. Like I said, the corruption is real, but hopefully they clear the airwave. And he did ask the question, are the fees the same percentage? I know the French fries title is more of a percentage because you got to pay to duck. It's basically you purchasing a belt in order to avoid somebody like Canelo did to Charlo. However, when it comes to the other question, do every section and body have a regular and super title? Nah, I don't think so. The WBC French fries title is pretty much like the super version, but nobody really taking that belt seriously. So it's pretty much only the WBA. I don't think you are considered unified champion if you fight for the regular title, the regular WBA title. So if Crawford unifies the WBO with a regular WBA title, I don't think that's going to be considered as him unifying the division and becoming 2-time world champion. But the double standards is real because, see, when a guy like Canelo wins the WBA title against a cherry pick of the year, Rocky Fielding, a fighter we all never heard of, he got knocked out by Smith in the first round, right? But everybody consider him a 4-weight division champion now. So I take that back. I guess you are considered a unified champion if you fight for the regular WBA title. Because truth be told, they said Canelo Alvarez is a 4-time world champion in 4 different divisions because he had the regular WBA title at 168. A fighter that got knocked out in the first round by Smith. So just as long as you are consistent, If you're going to say Canelo is the champion, then you got to say Gervonta a champion. You got to say Ugas a champion. If you're going to say Canelo is not a champion, then you got to say Gervonta is not a champion at 135 because I believe he fought Gamboa for the regular WBA title. And you also got to say the same for Ugas. So with that being said, go ahead and pick up some calls.
Hold it, you're not that pretty. I'm a bad man. Wait. I shook up the world. I shook up the world. I shook up the world.
I bear witness, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad is his final messenger. That's what I said, Larry, on the Bungle fight. Thanking you.
They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans, anybody can get it.